Hi everyone, so I think a few days ago, or maybe yesterday, I got a request to talk about some of my favorite books after I did the tag Get to Know Me Better video, which I will link hopefully right there if I remember, which I never do. But someone requested that I talk about some of my favorite books. And I love that idea because reading is literally, like I said in the tag video, one of my favorite pastimes. And I'm really sad that this year I haven't gotten as much time to really like invest in reading. But I guess I am going to start off. Ooh, I need to grab my computer because I'm filming on a different computer right now. It has all my little notes on it. But I'm going to start off by just talking about one book that I think you guys should really read, and I think maybe I'll do this series like once a week or something and just talk about my favorite books. So one of my my favorite series of all time is Harry Potter, and it's my favorite fantasy novels, it's my favorite everything, it's probably my favorite books. But I always kind of cast them aside into a different category, so when people ask me what my favorite books are, I'll be like Harry Potter, and so I'm going to talk about the other book that I always end up saying and to, and my nose is really stuffy, I'm sorry. But the other book that I always mention is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. It's written by Stephen Chbosky. It's spelled, well, Stephen is spelled with a PH, not a B. And his last name is spelled Chbosky, so Chbosky? Chbosky? I don't really know how you pronounce it, but it's the only book he's ever written, and I really want him to write more because it is literally one of the most touching books I've ever read in my entire life. I don't know, it was so good. And this is going to make me want to reread it because that's how I felt when I was like looking up what the author's name was and everything. I don't have the book in front of me. It's back at school, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it, I guess. So the book is told through a series of letters kind of in diary form that the main character named Charlie writes to a guy he doesn't even know, that he just like has heard about and heard that the guy is a good listener, or the girl, you don't really know who, if it's a girl or guy. I think you might know that it's a guy though. I don't really remember that detail, but he's just writing letters because he needs someone to talk to because he knows that he's different, but he can't figure out why, and he knows that he thinks differently, but he can't figure out why. So Charlie is a freshman in high school, and going into his freshman year, he's really overwhelmed, so he started writing these letters to this anonymous person who writes with an anonymous name, Charlie. So Charlie isn't even really his name. But anyway, or is it really his name? Now that I'm thinking about this, I am getting so confused. But those little details don't even matter. So like if it's his name or not. I'm pretty sure that that's an anonymous name, and that's just what he's called throughout the book, so you know him as Charlie, but that might not really be his name. But anyway, he starts writing these books his freshman year, or these letters in his freshman year in high school, and he really realizes that while he's not like, I mean, he's not the biggest like loser on the planet, but he's very introverted, very by himself, and he thinks very differently, and he can tell within his family that he just like seeing his sister and stuff, like being a really normal teenage girl, he just knows that he's not normal. But anyway, in his freshman year of high school, he starts meeting new friends, and he kind of explores the world of dating, and explores, I don't know, he just like explores life a lot more, and he comes to realize by the end of the novel why he is different and what has really traumatized him in life. And I don't know, he's just like the quirkiest character ever. Like the way he talks and like writes to this anonymous person, it's just so like, it's like he points out the obvious, but he does it in a way that no one else could like talk about something so obvious that way. And it's really like a newborn baby experiencing life for the first time is kind of how he talks. And he falls in love, he makes friends, I don't know. It's just like, it seems so basic, and I really can't tell you too much or else I'm going to give away like what the whole big event is. But it is literally one of the most touching books I've ever read. It made me laugh because he's just hysterical. Like he doesn't experience things in like a lot of things, so some parts can be really awkward, and you laugh along with him. And then some parts were really sad. I was crying at the end of the book. It was just like, I don't know. It was a very touching novel. Let me see. How many pages is it? Should I tell you guys that? Does it say how many pages it is? I don't think it tells me how many pages it is on here, but it's not very long. It's a pretty short book. I finished it in 2 days the first time I read it. And, oh, recommendation for this book is normally with books, I make a playlist. Once I like read the first few chapters, I can kind of get the mood of the book. And then I'll just listen to that playlist while I'm reading. This book actually has a mix. There's one chapter in which a friend of his gives him a mixtape, and it has a mixtape in it. So I downloaded all those songs and then listened to them throughout the book, and that is a recommendation for how to listen to it. It really sets the mood. I really liked doing that. I don't know, but it's just your basic, but not basic. It's a coming of age story, but it's just like, it's like so touching, and I love it to death. It's one of my favorite books of all time. Like I already said, it's definitely in the top 8 because the first 7 would be Harry Potter because I'm a Harry Potter nerd. But if you counted Harry Potter as 1, it would be number 2. It is hands down the weirdest written but best written book ever. It's just amazing. It's so touching. I love it. And if you guys know any books like it, please tell me because I'm interested in reading other books like it. I've been recommended to read Looking for Alaska, which I've started like about 5 times and I can't get past the first 3 pages. And that's not a good sign as to if I'm going to like the book. But I'm going to try it again, I think. I have a long car ride back to school in a few weeks, so maybe I'll try reading it then. But anyway, back to the perks of being a wallflower. You can buy it on Amazon for like $8 paperback. It's just going to change your life. It's just like one of those books where you read it and you just realize like how you just find a whole new way to look at the world because he looks at the world so differently because he has been traumatized and you don't know how. You don't know what happened to him when he was little. You do find out at the end, but anyway, they're also some of the best quotes I've ever read in my entire life came from that book. I think every quote I don't know, every line in that book was just like an amazing quote to like use. And one of my favorite ones is, let me try to find it. So this is my life, and I want you to know that I am both happy and sad, and I'm still trying to figure out how that could be. He also at one point is experiencing the world for the first time. Kind of, it's like he's realizing how amazing the world is and how amazing it is to be with your friends and stuff. And he's like, he says something like, in that moment we were infinite and I feel infinite right now. And like, it's just like, just such a beautiful quote and such a beautiful thought. Like in that moment you just feel like connected with everything and just like infinitely infinite. I don't even know how to explain it. You kind of get it when you read the book. But yeah, that would be one of my favorite books. And I think next time I'm going to talk about, let's see, I made a little list, if you can see that. And next time I'm probably going to talk about Keeping the Moon. And I might do a Harry Potter rundown, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Get out there, read something. If you have a favorite book, tell me the author and the title down below, and I will Amazon it and see if it's a book that I might want to read because I'm always looking for new books to read. So have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.